Howdy, folks. Welcome to another week of Dat Gentleman Sports. I'm your host, Javi Jr. We got Jordan back on the sticks. Let's get right to it because we had a crazy week of football this week. The first game we had was the Vikings taking on the LA Rams. Now, you can never count Matthew Stafford out, especially when he gets his weapons. And he got both of his weapons back this week in Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and he was able to make the Vikings pay for it. Now, the Vikings were absolutely robbed in typical Vikings fashion in the fourth quarter when they missed that face mask penalty. I mean, how do you miss that? It's right in front of you, and he damn near got his head taken off. But anyways, the Vikings lose. When it comes to those games that are close and it comes down to a call, you can pretty much bet on the Vikings losing. The Rams keep their season alive, and you can never count them out with Matthew Stafford. So let's see what he can salvage out of this season now that he got his weapons back. So there's been all kinds of trade talks on both sides, and I think if they just keep it together, they could make a little bit of a run here. And to kick off our Sunday games, we had the Packers taking on the Jags. Trevor Lawrence with, golden boy with his golden arm, went out there and gave them all that he can handle. But I don't think they're able to win despite their coach right now. I mean, their coach is not going to be there next season. He doesn't deserve to be. I mean, Doug Peterson had that great run with Nick Foles in Philadelphia, but it's over, honestly. And quite the opposite is going on with the Packers, because even though they have Jordan Love at quarterback, when he goes down, Malik Willis comes in and plays and wins games for them. Why? Because of good coaching. It's a completely different scenario. You have one team that's not winning because of coaching, and you have one team that's winning because of coaching. And that really showed in this matchup, and the Packers came away with a win. A close one, but without their starting quarterback, a win is a win. And next we had the Cardinals going to Miami to take on my Dolphins. Now, for all intents and purposes, this is a huge blow to the Dolphins. Kyler Murray went out there and slung the ball all over the field in our home, and we had the lead going into the end there, and we just gave it up at the end. And with the amount of games left, we have a tough game coming up with the Bills, so let's see if they can pull it out. But at the end of the day, the Cardinals did play a good game. They're one of those teams, I've said it from the beginning of the season, they're upset-minded. That's one of those teams that they're on the cusp. Maybe they make the playoffs, maybe they don't, but they can upset anybody in the NFL right now, and they showed why right there on that last drive. On the Dolphins side, to be honest, guys, it's the same old Dolphins. I mean, I'm 27. I've been following the team since 2007, I believe. And it's the same thing in close games every time. We don't win close games very often. Tua came out, looked great. I mean, nobody gets the ball out quicker. Nobody can run this offense the way he can. And I do believe we have a chance. At the end of the day, the Dolphins can make a run because, like I said, it's the same old Dolphins. And what does that mean? A dedication to mediocrity. And don't underestimate that dedication to mediocrity. We will win at least 7 games to go. What would that put us at? 9-8, right? 9-8. Hey, right about 500, right where we've always been my whole life. So let's keep it going, right? Well, if they could get 7 wins, we'll be riding mediocrity. The thing is, if we can get 8 wins, maybe steal a win in Buffalo, maybe steal a win in Houston, maybe steal some more wins, we can make it to the playoffs. So fins up. Don't keep your heads down. Congratulations to the Cardinals. Let's get on to the next one. All right, and next was the New York Jets taking on the New England Patriots. Guys, I'm going to make it a quick one because it's a disaster. It's the bottom feeders of the AFCs, and it showed. Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown for over 300 yards in 30 games. That is ridiculous. I mean, for a guy that we consider one of the most elite quarterbacks in the NFL, but that's what happens when you go to the Jets. So, the Patriots won. Drake May did get hurt. That's a huge blow for the Patriots, but I mean, what can we say? Jets, suck, baby. And next, we have the Baltimore Ravens going into Cleveland to take on famous Jameis and the Cleveland Browns. I told y'all, Deshaun's the problem. He left Houston. He ain't got nothing left. Jameis came in there and played an insane game. At the end of the day, he is the answer. I've been saying it for a while. Once you get Jameis in there, the Browns are going to start eating some dubs. On top of being one of the funniest guys in the NFL, he came out and showed why he should have been starting the whole time. And I don't believe that Robinson should have ever been in the game. It should have been Jameis from the start as soon as Deshaun Watson went down. And he showed why. He won the game for the Browns, an important game against a rival in the Ravens and the number one offense in the Ravens. And Jameis all the way, baby. Let's eat some more dubs in Cleveland. And like I said, Deshaun Watson is cooked. And famous Jameis is the answer in Cleveland. He's going to go on a run here. Watch. And then we had the Eagles taking on the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, I mean, I thought they were going to bounce back from this, but it really doesn't look likely with the way the team's playing. Philadelphia Eagles came in, ran it down their throat. There was nothing they can do about it, and it was a pretty easy win for the Eagles down there. Now everybody's mad about Saquon Barkley not getting the ball in that 1 yard line. I'm mad too. I missed out on an 8-leg parlay because of that one leg, but hey, I still got paid out a little bit. But the Eagles trounced the Bengals. Pretty much over for the Bengals. Let's get on to the next one. And next one is a game that I had the pleasure of being at this weekend. So we had Indianapolis Colts coming to Houston to take on the Texans. Now, it was a game that you could say was one play away from going the other way. Maybe one play where a quarterback got too tired and admitted it to the media. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. You can't excuse that, and he was appropriately benched for it. Now, honestly, I believe that if he doesn't say that, he wouldn't have been benched, though I believe that Joe Flacco should be in there. But I mean, I don't think the Colts were going to make the right decision unless Anthony Richardson made it this easy for them. On the other side, the Houston Texans, they got a meaningful win because the winner of this game was going to be tied for the division, or like the Houston Texans are now, well ahead in the division. On the other hand, they did lose Stephon Diggs, so that was a huge loss for this team. But it was a celebration because Andre Johnson, their greatest receiver in franchise history by far from the University of Miami, was at the game getting his ring for the Hall of Fame, and I even got his attention.
This is a great game.
One of the best games.
One of the best games. I was at the game.
There were so many games there, but this one was the best.
What a game.
And of course, we have your Super Bowl champions and the only undefeated team left in the NFL, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Patrick Mahomes has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns this year, but according to Alex Smith, I believe, he's playing his best football, but that's debatable. But anyway, they go in, they're against an AFC West opponent. They beat Las Vegas Raiders, as most of us expected to do so. Gardner Minshew, he really put up a good fight, but they just don't have the firepower on offense to keep up with anybody in the league, I believe, unless it was the bottom of the barrel. But the Chiefs come in, they stay undefeated. Please, lose a game, Patrick Mahomes! Then we had the Carolina Panthers going to Denver to take on rookie Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Now, our hearts and prayers do go out to Andy Dalton and his families. He did suffer a car crash, so he wasn't able to start in this game. But Bryce Young, starting in his place, was able to come out 5 for 5 with a touchdown, and he really looked great, along with this year's biggest steal out of Holy Cross in Jalen Coker. So let's see how that develops moving forward. But the rest of the game went about as everybody expected. The Denver Broncos went off with 28 straight points, with Bo Nix having 4 total touchdowns, and the Carolina Panthers losing the game, though they did get another touchdown in garbage time for Bryce Young to match his 2 interceptions. Showing a little bit of progression, but those 2 interceptions don't look great. Up next was an NFC South matchups with the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. Now, here's my thing with the Buccaneers. We, over here, agree, Jordan, we love Baker Mayfield. But he shouldn't be throwing it 50 times a game when the other quarterback is throwing it 29 times. They have to find more balance to this offense, and it showed in this game. And now they're 1 game behind in the NFC South. And Kirk O'Chains puts on another great performance, throws for 4 touchdowns. He gets the Falcons moving on up and again in the lead of the NFC South. So let's get on to the next game. Next we had the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Saints. A week removed from playing Sean Payton and getting stomped out, they're back to their old ways, trying to hurt quarterbacks. Now, I'm not saying they're collecting a bounty or anything, but that gator roll was ridiculous, and good on that offensive lineman for clapping that dude out of there, dude. He barreled in with that. That was awesome, dude. So yeah, the Chargers, and that was about the most exciting thing that happened in that game. So 26-8 for the Chargers. The Saints keep on go from 2-0 to 2-6, and they keep on sliding down. So about what you'd expect, and let's get on to the next one. Then we had one of the most anticipated QB matchups of the year in Jayden Daniels taking on Caleb Williams, the number 1-2 pick against the number 2 overall pick, and the number 2 overall pick came ahead. Caleb Williams, now he has a good record. The Bears are 4-3, better than people expected, and he is beating some teams. But before this week started, if you look at it, the teams that he beat are a combined 4-18 coming in. So Jayden Daniels finds a way to win. It wasn't a pretty game at all. I mean, we got the play of the year from it, but it was their only touchdown of the game. Now, Jayden Daniels is playing efficient football, but you're going to have to do more. They're scoring a lot of field goals instead of touchdowns. I think that's the one thing they need to correct, but they've won 6 games. That's more than you can say about a lot of teams, so let's hope they keep it going, and Jayden Daniels is proving why he was the 2nd overall pick. Next, we had a classic rivalry game between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers, and Brock Purdy proved why he's the better quarterback between him and Dak Prescott. I mean, right now, the Cowboys cannot get it right. I think it's a coaching thing, but the quarterback proved that he can't play well. I mean, the running game isn't there. I mean, you have a great receiver, but where are the rest of them? At the end of the day, the Cowboys didn't have enough to beat them. They made it look good at the end there, but really, it looked a lot worse than a one-score game. And the 49ers came away with a much-needed victory with all the injuries that they have. And we keep it moving forward with a big bounce-back victory for them. Probably one of the worst teams in the NFL, and the Tennessee Titans going to Detroit to take on the Lions. And it went about how everybody thought it was going to go. One of the league's best offenses destroyed one of the league's worst teams. And they didn't even have the Mayo Meme Maniac to give us a meme this week. So not only did the Titans get stomped out, we don't get a meme, and the Lions get a win as expected. So let's get on to the next one. The Buffalo Bills going to Seattle to play the Seahawks. And listen here, Seattle, there's only one 12th man in the football world, and that's in College Station with the Aggies. Because when you let a team come in and take over your stadium to where you can't get plays off because there's too many Bills fans in your stadium, you deserve to lose the game. You lose it candidly. You make Josh Allen look good, which I disagree with, but roll the tape. Let's get to the next one. Finally, we had the New York Giants taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, and it went about how everybody expected. The Pittsburgh Steelers come away with a win, and the Russell Wilson experiment continues. I believe they're going to get 6 games out of Justin Fields, 6 games out of Russell Wilson, and see who they go with for the final third. But in this game, despite having 2 touchdowns negated for George Pickens, which I'm sure everybody loved in fantasy, they come away with the win, and a huge win that puts them in their number 1 spot in the AFC North. For the Giants, it knocks them down to 2-6. The Danny Dimes experience seems to be over, and let's see how they move forward. But right now, you got a team that's way up high with the Steelers and a team way down low with the Giants. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Hobby Jr. That's Jordan on the Sticks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment in the comment section below. And we'll see you next week. Dude, we're fucking solid, dude. We're solid.
All right.